Hi guys, Tim Jordan here, Product Marketing Manager in the marketing team at Open Colleges. Today I've put together a training presentation for you. We've developed a new course called the Certificate 4 in Information Technology. So I'm just going to take you through some of the details about the course, so hopefully at the end of the presentation you'll get a good sense of what this course is all about, who it's for, and what are some of the key things to keep in mind when dealing with prospective students. So let's get into it. So what we're going to talk about today is I'll just give you a bit of an overview of the course. Then I'll take you through the employment outcome. So what jobs students can get when they graduate, and job titles. We'll talk about who we think those students are going to be, so the target audience for the course. We'll go through the structure, so you can see the units and the study periods and what kinds of things that the students will actually be learning. We'll talk about the entry requirements and what students will need to be able to enter the course. And this course contains structured workplace learning, so I'll go through the details of how that'll work. And then we'll finish off with a comparison of other competitors who are offering this course, what I think our unique selling points are, and some of the things that you guys can use to compare our course with competitors. And then, of course, we'll finish with the price, how much it costs, and how students will be able to pay for the course. Okay. So as an overview, so this is our very first of many information technology courses that we have. Yes, we have the Certificate 2 in Information, Digital Media and Technology, but this is the first of what we're looking at, more intense IT courses. Which actually give students a good career outcome. So we selected the Certificate 4 level because there are no specific prerequisites to enter this course. And I'm going to talk about entry requirements in a few minutes, but there didn't seem to you don't need a Certificate 3 to enroll in this course, which is nice, but it still has a pretty clear employment outcome. So we think that graduates of this course will be able to realistically find themselves a job after completing this course. Also in the IT training package, a lot of the qualifications have a number of specializations that you can choose from. And with this at the Cert 4 level, you don't have to have a particular specialization. So particularly at the Certificate 3 level and the diploma level, they do specialize quite a bit. So we thought we'll start off with the Certificate 4 that is more of a broader course, and then once we're up and running, we'll look at bringing in more specializations. So the Certificate 3 level course it's a Certificate 3 in Information, Digital Media and Technology. That's coming, as is diploma level courses in IT, potentially website development and a few other areas. They'll be coming later in the year. But this is our first go at IT. So the units we chose to focus on in this course, we decided we wanted to focus on areas like IT support, help desk support. We wanted to focus on networking, and we've added an element of project management into this course. Now this was a deliberate decision to make our course stand out in the market. We think that having skills in project management is going to help our students get jobs in the IT industry, because they're very valuable skills to have. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But it's just important to note that this course is not a course for website development, or you don't learn any programming languages in this course, and you're not really going to be doing any application development. So on that note, I'll move into the employment outcomes of what this course will actually give you. So in general, the IT industry is growing. As you can probably imagine, the demand for skilled IT workers is increasing. Not all jobs in IT are being outsourced or being taken offshore, because particularly small to medium-sized businesses, as they invest in technology to run their businesses, they're going to need people who are able to manage and implement that technology. And a lot of So there's a lot of roles around the customer service side of information technology and maintenance. So graduates of this course will be able to work in areas like customer and help desk support, network and PC support, systems and network administration, etc. So the type of job that a student would get would be an IT help desk officer or a desktop network support officer. So think about people like Zetong in our office, or Divyang, or any other small to medium or large business that needs professionals who can help staff, install software, help them staff manage their hardware, manage wireless networks, manage servers, that sort of thing. And this is where we think the biggest demand in the IT industry is right now, and will continue to grow, especially around newer technologies like wireless networking, cloud technology, that kind of thing. So that's why we focused on this area, and that's why we haven't focused on the website development programming area. And that's not to say that we won't have courses in those areas coming in the future. So, so the target audience for this course, it's fairly obvious. We expect that there will be a higher proportion of males interested in this course, and we think that their motivations for study is really to either to get a job, so to break into the IT industry, or to move up. Maybe they're already working in IT in a very, very low level role, and this is a course to kind of get them going in their career a bit more. And we think that there's going to be a decent amount of people who are already employed, but I think a motivation for a lot of people studying this course might be the fact that they're not employed, or they're not doing anything at the moment, and it's a way for them to break into the industry. So we think that they're likely to be working already in IT or with some sort of technology, or failing that, they have a keen interest in technology, in computers, in the understanding of how these things work. They like understanding how things work, and like sort of making sure things are correct. They tend to be good problem solvers, but they also enjoy helping people and helping solving their issues. And they like learning about and discovering new technology. So their goal from studying this qual would be to work in a help desk support role, or a IT support role in a medium to sized business. And they'll be doing things like installing operating systems on people's machines, managing PC support, managing servers, helping with cloud storage. They might have to do things like install phone systems, managing networks, wireless networks, etc. So the way that this course is structured, so there are 20 units in the course, broken into 7 study periods. The course is, students have 2 years to complete the course, and that works out to be around about 8 hours of recommended study per week to complete within 2 years. So you can read through the order of studies there. So we start students off with a fairly small introductory study period where they just have to create technical documents, and there's a subject there on client requirements. So that's a fairly easy study period to start them off with, to help them kind of get going and achieve a milestone of getting through study period 1. And then as they move through the course, it starts to get bigger and bigger, and the technology becomes a little more detailed. And that's a deliberate design of the course to allow students to kind of ease them into the course so they don't get scared off. And you can see the sorts of things they'll learn. So it's a good mix of technical things that they'll learn, skills that they'll get around networking, software, managing servers, wireless, desktop environments. But then they also get essential skills for working getting a job. So the communication, the client management skills, the the ethics and privacy information, and as well we also think the project management. So project management, these were elective units that we added to the course, and we think that's going to stand our course out in the market. So graduates of open colleges will have not only the technical skills to do the job, but also those soft skills in areas like project management that employers will value. So, a project in IT could be something like, a business like ours, like open colleges. If we need to move employees to a new floor, it would be a significant IT project to have to change the phone system over to that new floor, to install new servers and install new machines. So an open colleges graduate could potentially show their employer that they have experience in managing projects, which is a good skill to have. So the entry requirements for the course. So there are no formal entry requirements to enrol. You don't need any prior knowledge or any prerequisites from a training package point of view to enrol in the course. We have mandated that students have year 10 as a minimum. I mean, you can read about that on the website or in the brochure, but that's fairly standard, obviously, for all of our courses. But students will need to have intermediate computer skills, and I think that makes sense. They'll need to be comfortable with technology and comfortable using technology and using computers. So, and that otherwise they'll have real difficulty completing the coursework and certainly completing the assessments. So, you'll probably need to use your judgment there, but advise students that if they're not confident or comfortable with technology or with using a computer, especially web applications, or their office applications, then perhaps they should potentially consider the Certificate 2 course. But if they are, more than likely students interested in this course should be fairly proficient, I would think, with technology. So I'm sure they'd be fine. So the training package does state that the preferred pathway to enter the course is completion of a Cert 3 or 2 years of work experience in IT. But this isn't essential, and we're not going to mandate that for enrolment. It's more just to advise the student that that a Cert 4 is a Cert 4 level course. If they haven't done any study for a long time, if they're nervous about studying online, and again, if they're not that comfortable with technology, then potentially the Certificate 2 level Certificate 2 course might be a better entry point for them, and then they can move to Cert 4. We suggest, you suggest that if they're comfortable and confident going into a Cert 4 level course, then that should be fine for them. As a side note, there's no credit transfer from the Certificate 2 into the Cert 4. So even those students who have completed that Cert 2, there's no credit into the higher level qualification. So the requirements for your computer and audio-visual, they're just fairly standard as normal. So you can check the brochure for the specifics, but they're the same as most other courses. However, there are some technology requirements for the structured workplace learning, which I'm going to go into next. But just to enroll in the course, students don't need any special software. They don't need any special programs. They don't need a special type of computer. They just need a computer with access to the internet and the ability to access, the web and office software. So as I mentioned, there's structured workplace learning in this course, and so students don't need to have access to a workplace before they enroll, but you'll need to advise them that they will need access to a workplace before starting study period 3. So I'll go into that now. So obviously you can imagine that to complete a Certificate 4 in IT, you probably need to be able to do some fairly specific IT tasks and assessments. You probably can't do it all on your home computer at home without buying a bunch of software and hardware. So to be competent in the course, in the units, in study period 3, the students will need access to two computers that can be networked together, and they also need 2 different operating systems, such as Windows or Mac or Linux. And these operating systems, so essentially in study period 3, what they need to do is install different operating systems on different computers and network them together. Now, we've recommended that students do this in the workplace if they can. But if they have access to this technology at home or in another venue, not a workplace, then they're more than welcome to complete these assessments in their own way. But the reality is that there will probably only be a small number of students who will have access to this stuff at home. But so if they can't do it themselves, then they'll need to find a workplace that can provide this equipment and the technology and allow them to complete the tasks and assessments. Then when they get to study, then they can go through study periods 4 and 5 fine as using their regular technology. But once they get to study period 6, that's when they'll also need access to some pretty specific technology. And again, so we recommend they do this in the workplace. So they'll need a server which they can install 2 different network operating systems, so like Windows, Linux, Macintosh, or Unix, and then they'll need relevant server equipment such as cables, networked computers, a wireless area network service point, etc., etc. You can read the list there. So that's fairly specific, and again, fairly. It'll be unlikely that people will have access to this sort of stuff just lying around the house. So they probably will need to secure a work placement to complete these assessments. So there's a fairly detailed information about all this technology in the workplace assessment guide. Otherwise, there is also more information in the brochure as well. So just to note that. Students don't necessarily need to complete these tasks in a workplace, but the nature of them, it's unlikely that they'll be able to do it without one. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, moving on. So in terms of who we're competing with, I could really only find 2 major online providers that offered the Certificate 4 in IT. There's a few other people who offer a diploma level course. Diplomas in IT generally require you to have completed a Certificate 4, or they're highly recommended. So I haven't done a major comparison of the diploma level courses. So looking at O10, they offer the Cert 4 in IT. However, there is a focus on service desk support for this course. So it's a Certificate 4 in IT specialising in service desk support. We don't have the specialisation as explicit for our course. So for O10, you pay $1,140 per year when you enrol in this course. So O10 have a different pricing model. It's government subsidised, which is why it's so cheap. But you don't pay for. Essentially, you don't pay for one particular course. You pay to enrol in a course over the period of 1 year. If it takes you longer than 1 year, then you pay that fee again. So most of our students would probably not complete within a year. So you're really looking at $2,280. They do require a Certificate 3 or 2 years work experience. At least their website doesn't make it very clear that they would let you in if you don't have those, if you don't meet those requirements. So I think we're a little more flexible there. With O10, you can enrol any time, and you can start. There's no start dates, so that they're fully flexible. But they do say you need to complete the course within 2 years. So like I said, the subjects focus on service desk support, and there is some subjects on writing query languages or learning query language. The other interesting thing to note about O10 is you must be resident in New South Wales or be employed within New South Wales to access their subsidised fees. We've heard on the grapevine that if you're not within New South Wales, they will refer you to Seek Learning for enrolment. Now, and Seek Learning charge higher prices. Now, Seek Learning don't offer this Certificate 4 in IT, which is interesting. You won't find it on their website. So So there's O10 as one competitor. The other major competitor I found was Upskilled. Upskilled offer a bunch of different course areas in business, IT, and a few project management and a few others. IT seemed to be their biggest portfolio. They charge $3,300 if you pay in installments, but if you pay up front in full, you'll get a 10% discount. So you've got 12 months to pay the course off, $60 a week, but you need to pay a $210 deposit. The entry requirements just state that it's preferred that you have Cert 3 or work experience, and the delivery model is a blended model. So what that means is they offer online material, much like us, but then they support that online material with webinars. So they have set times where you need to come online and attend the webinar. Now, I'm not sure if those webinars are compulsory, but that's how the model is. That's how the course is delivered, and they have monthly start dates. So you can't enroll anytime. You have to wait for the next start date. You also only have 12 months to complete the course. Otherwise, if you don't complete within 12 months, you either need to do it again, pay again, or you have to, apply for an extension. Their focus for their course is on networking, so it's a specific course for networking. They also have another certificate in IT support. So whereas we've combined the two, and we feel like we're giving students a more rounded skill set, so they can work in. And like I said, we're targeting those who want to work in small to medium-sized enterprises. So someone like, again, thinking about a Ztong or a Divyang in our business, they not only manage networks and manage hardware servers, they also deal with IT requests that come in from staff, and they have to help solve people's problems. So we feel that students will see a benefit in having both skill sets, and we've also added the project management area. These guys do have some Microsoft certification in the course. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but advertised in their course is some subjects that are Microsoft focused. So for open colleges, when you compare with the other two competitors, even though our price is $3,690, so it is higher than Upskilled, although we are offering a 20% pay in full, which is our business as usual pay in full offer. However, we're giving students 18 months to pay, which brings the per weekly cost down to under $50 a week, and a smaller deposit will get them started with open colleges with us. We also are more flexible on the entry requirements, so we don't specify that you have to have Cert 3 or work experience, but we do suggest that an interest in technology and computers will help, and advise students that going into a Cert 4 without any kind of study experience or work experience will be a challenge. Obviously, you know about our fully flexible and enroll anytime benefits. You've got 2 years to complete our course, and it's focused on IT support, networking, and the addition of project management. We have structured workplace learning included. Again, it's not compulsory if you have access to that technology yourself, but it's likely that you're going to need to do a complete work placement, and then it's also a TAFE course. So it's awarded by North Coast TAFE. So students will be getting an accredited, nationally recognised TAFE accredited certificate for qualification from North Coast TAFE, delivered by Open Colleges. Okay, so that's the end of the presentation. The course go live date is the 28th of January 2014, and if the course isn't already available to pre-enroll, it will be fairly soon, 1 to 2 weeks before the go live date. We have a special offer running until the go live date starts, which is a $250 discount for any student who enrolls before the 28th of January, or before we go live, essentially. And that is a pre-enrollment offer. So that's for students who are willing to sign up before the course material is ready. So that's all I have for you. If you hopefully that gives you some more information about the Cert 4 in IT, and you can get out there and start talking to prospects about it. If you've got any questions, contact your team leader, and they'll forward your questions through to me. Thanks for that, and I'll see you next time.